Welcome everyone, friends and furs of all species. I'm Hyena. We're back with another episode of Roman's Christmas. Now last time we went through a little tutorial, kind of got a feel for who these characters are. I like Anox. Saren's cool. Elegant's kind of a bitch, but I feel like she comes from an okay place with that bitchiness, so I mean, I'm a bitch too, I can't really judge. So, we got drunk, we went upstairs, went to sleep. Here we are now. In my dreams, I could hear a voice coming from downstairs. The sound reverberated through the empty hall as if I were lying in the cradle when I was a child, hearing my mother hum an unknown lullaby. But the tune of music had a kind of disharmony that was distinctly sinister. Sort of like when you open your eyes only to find your cradle dangling off the edge of a cliff. Oh shit, that's not a little sinister, what the fuck? The strange midnight music was unsettling, like something dark and ominous was about to spring out of the shadows to grab me. Do you want to go downstairs and have a look? Okay. I know I have kind of a horror movie handicap here, where I don't make good decisions. So, but if I were in this situation, like this is me real life, I would block the door with everything I could. Like there's no way I'd go downstairs, but because it's a video game and I already saved, if I die, go for it. Let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs and have a look. It's a little creepy, but it's not good to just ignore it. I can't sleep anyway. I climbed out of bed and took my dagger out of the inner pocket of my coat. Moving carefully with the dagger behind my back, I slowly cracked the door open. When I pushed the door hinge let out a loud squeak. I hadn't noticed the noise before I went to sleep, but given how quiet it was at that moment, any sound would have seemed to be magnified 1,000,000 times. The music downstairs stopped. Oh shit, lock the door, 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 lock the door. I locked the door and sat in bed until it stopped. I didn't hear any other noises that night. Oh my god. Oh my god, that actually scared me. Okay, thank god. Day 2, the 24th of December, 1285. Christmas Eve, bitches. For the rest of the night, I slept comfortably and dreamlessly. The first day of my holiday. Looks like I get to spend my Christmas holiday with a half-mad bard and a mysterious adventurer in a tavern in the middle of nowhere. And eat nothing but vegetarian dishes all day long. Ah, gross. Truly, such extravagance would make even the Pope himself jealous. There was a thick layer of snow on the windowsill, but it was sunny outside. I held the handrail of the stairs and went down slowly. I could hear the sound of wooden cups knocking on the table from the hall, and the smell of barley spread through the fire-warmed air. Oh, hey, cool! Look at all these guys! A shark! That's awesome! Oh, these guys are cool. Sure enough, more guests came as soon as it was sunny. Finally up! God, it must be nice to have a cushy smart guy job where you don't have to wake up before dawn. Oh, come on, I only get to sleep late during the holidays. I scratched my disheveled hair a few times. Ines, why are you here so early? The dock's completely frozen. It's either be bored at home or come drinking at the tavern. Fair enough. He reached out and clasped hands with me, squeezing tight. Ah, what the hell? I still need that hand, you know? Maybe you should exercise more. How are you gonna catch criminals if you can't even take a handshake? Ines clapped me on the shoulder as he spoke. Oh my god, I could feel that. Easy! I'm just messing with you. So are you gonna stay here during the Christmas holiday? Figured someone like you would go on a trip or something. Ow, well, I can't travel with these injuries. I think you broke something important. Huh, maybe I should put you out of your misery then. I like this guy, he's fun. No thanks. If you pat me to death, you'll just ruin Sarah's business. Ines grinned and raised a hand just as Sars poked his head out of the kitchen.
Remember, Ines, if you keep messing around, I'll throw you out. Not everyone here is as big, buff, and tough as you, sailor. For example, Peter.
Hey, don't look down on me! Look at the buddy! Hey, don't look down on me! Peter slapped his hands on the table and stood up. But it's true, I mean, I've never seen Ines lay a finger on you. That's because he knows he can't mess with me! Look, even Ines is just like, this motherfucker. He knows he can't mess with me!
Really? You want to take me on, Fluffy?
No, I don't want to end up losing control and breaking you in half!
Either do it or shut up.
Aww. It's not like my body's weaker than yours. Alright, there are some things that don't have to be forced. Why must different races be so different? At least everyone is the same in a legal sense. What's the use? I don't need to deal with criminals every day like you. The law is unequal and it is my business. Besides, what else is the same in legal sense?
Booze, money, and room charges.
Those aren't even legally mandated. That's just you being an opportunist. Speaking of opportunists, hey Kane, did you find another job yet? A little while ago, the cook at this small restaurant nearby quit because of the low salary. I figured I'd go and try my luck. I mean, it's a long shot given how many times I've been canned in the past. Aww, I like this guy. Maybe try to get a hold of your temper. No one will dare hire you if you have another attack. If you could control your temper, perhaps Sarin could hire you as a kitchen assistant in the busy season. Look, if keeping my temper was as easy as you said, then I wouldn't have gotten kicked out of so many. It's okay, nobody in this world is perfect. I'd better comfort him a bit, or he'll end up blowing up later. Aww, look at those ears! I can't help with those ears, it's so cute. I just want everything to go smoothly this time. Kane started to drink alone. It seems that everyone hasn't changed much. It's the same as last year when I couldn't get a case and spent a lot of time in taverns. Ah, the good old days. Sure, being broke and staring at an empty wallet hurt, but in the company of my friends, life didn't seem to be so sad. Huh, what should I do now? Map? Talk. I'll talk. Maybe I should get a cup of ale to soothe my throat before talking too much. Map? I'm a little thirsty, maybe just one more drink. I squeezed behind the counter, grabbed a mug, and slipped into the cellar. Wait a moment, I'd better ask Sarin first. I guess he's in the kitchen. I raised the board that separated the counter and the hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Sometimes I wonder how Sarin can cram himself into such a small place. I poked my head through the curtain. Sarin was washing dishes, but stopped and turned to me.
What's the matter, Roman?
Cup of ale. I'm a bit thirsty after chatting all morning. Mind if I help myself to some ale?
Okay, just remember to turn off the tap.
I took a mug from under the counter and slipped into the cellar. After filling my mug, I took a sip and considered my next course of action. Ale, the lubricant of both mind and tongues. Yeah, for better or worse. I raised the board that separated the counter and hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Sarin was cleaning the dishes. Maybe I talked about...
What's the matter, Roman?
About Elegant's room. Elegant is still staying here, right? I wonder which room is hers.
The third room on the right.
Thanks. Oh, toilet. Let's go to the toilet. I'll go to the restroom and comb my hair. I wet my hands, posed for a better angle, and combed my hair carefully in the mirror. Falling gray hairs fluttered down like snow from my scalp, eventually landing in the wash bin. Shedding season had already passed, obviously. Even those falling hairs had regrown in the winter. Maybe I should take care of myself better the next time I get busy. The last thing I need to do is look terrible in front of clients. Let's continue to chat in the lobby. Who are you talking to? Knox. I sat by Knox and held my cup. What's the matter? Discuss Elegant. What do you think about Elegant? Well, she doesn't seem to be fond of our chit-chat. And since when do nuns show up in taverns? Maybe she's looking for wayward souls to shame or something. Could it be Knox might know why Elegant? Maybe Sardine asked her to come over to sing Christmas carols. Never mind. Any new songs? Come up with any new songs recently? Knox heard any new songs recently? Yes. Oh, nice. Sounds good. The fee is 1 silver cent, please. You're greedier than Zarin. Nothing special. Well, you're welcome to take a seat and have a drink with me. Who are you talking to? Peter. I sat across from Peter at his table. Peter looked up at me. Roman, do you think there's such a thing as true fairness? Still struggling with the same problem, huh? Compared to a lot of places in the world, Apollyon is pretty fair. Where else would you see so many different species being friendly in the same tavern? This place is the exception, not the rule. There are dozens of restaurants and taverns in the capital which only serve meat-eating mammals. Although it's forbidden by law, they always have ways to avoid it. They just tell inspectors that wonders of wonders, there are no herbivore customers that day, or the space special happens to be grilled veal. You know, most of the inspectors are carnivores too. So even if the reasons are just bold-faced lies, they can still get away with it. Oh, it sounds like real life, huh? There are so many injustices in life. Why don't we pretend not to see them? Apollyon is still young, and things take time to change. Not everyone has time to wait. Fair. I took my mug and sat opposite of Aeneas. Before you start, I'll pass on the shoulder smack. Aeneas, oh! Aeneas, half standing, took his hand back in slowly and scratched his hand embarrassedly.
Sorry, old habits and such. It's just a friendly greeting is all.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Looking to chat or something?
Life by the sea. I'm a little curious about how life by the sea is like.
Life by the sea, that's nothing special. You know how most folks like you visit the sea on holidays? It's kind of opposite for us. It's nice to get someplace far away from the brine and constant motion. Us sea folk are so used to terrifying waves of the sea, it's kind of relaxing to enjoy the inland life for a while. After all, it's not like the earth will rise up out of the blue and swallow your house and everything in it.
That's not impossible. Haven't you heard of earthquakes?
The sea is like that all the time, and earthquakes only happen ever so often.
Aren't you a big tough sailor? Why would you feel the waves so much? The expression in Aeneas' face froze suddenly. Oh no, he's like flashing back to his dead mom or something. Oh crap.
You don't understand.
Look. Oh, yeah. Don't ask that again. Why no seaside taverns? Aren't you satisfied with the taverns near the docks? Why come all the way out to White Star instead?
Have you been to those taverns over there?
I came in and had a look when I was handling a case.
And you saw the fish hooks, fish netting that like to hang in the back wall behind the counter. You're scared of fish? He's a shark! No shit! Wouldn't you be too if you were a shark? What? Seems like you didn't drink enough, so you ran out of talking material, eh?
Who are you talking to? Kane. I took my mug and sat down opposite of Kane. It looked like Kane didn't notice me as he scooped up a spoonful of stew and watched it dribble back into the bowl.
I can't blame Zarin.
What? Stopping his hands, Kane looked up at me.
Nothing, I just feel Zarin's cooking skill.
I don't think it's not bad.
Indeed, this vegetable stew is excellent. By the standard of a carnivore. Other carnivores won't taste anything weird. I don't want to sound like a herbivore supremacist or anything, but I still think it's better to leave cooking vegetable dishes to people like us.
Well, I could see the argument there, like people who are vegan wouldn't cook a turkey, just like people who only work at a butcher shop wouldn't just suddenly turn into cooking vegan stuff. So, I mean, I understand that logic.
I can almost hear the radishes in this stew screaming from mistreatment.
You're rude when you cook beef. Don't mention it. Nah, I'm gonna get all the information I can out of everybody. Our relationship isn't that bad, is it?
Of course.
Then if I ask you a sensitive question, you won't get angry at me?
How can I be angry with you? What is it?
Well, do you have some unique feelings when you cook steaks?
You have no idea how many carnivores ask me that same question. What do you think about wolves? The ones that walk on 4 legs, I mean.
Huh. There was a stuffed wolf head as a wall hanging in my old house. But other than that, I don't have much of an opinion. Oh, so there's anthros and, like the exact same species as both anthro and not. Okay.
If you're fine with stuffed wolf head, then I'm fine cooking steak. After all, it's not like the meat came from someone I knew.
Oh, look at him sweating. Okay, I've been in the toilet, the kitchen, the hall. Let's go up. So let's talk to Elian, I guess. I knocked at the door of the 3rd room on the right.
Who is it?
It's me, Roman.
Is there something the matter?
Purpose of this guy? I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Eh?
Elegant opened. Oh, look! I get to see her face more. Okay. Elegant opened the door and stood there, looking at me expectantly. Her hand didn't leave the doorknob. I wanted to know why you dressed like that. I asked in a low voice.
Do you wonder the reason which I dress like this, or are you questioning the motive?
Why not both? Elegant stepped away a bit, leaving enough room for me to squeeze through the door sideways. Not sure if I should try. Her body language and expression suggest she wasn't looking for company.
Would you rather stand at my door and speak? You are aware of the recent arrivals downstairs, are you not?
She moved back again further. I slipped into the room and she shut the door behind me. They're regulars here, decent people. You don't need to be worried about them.
There may be decent individuals in this place, but that does not mean they are so outside of it. You've already seen through my disguise, so I feel no need to hide. The same cannot be said for them. As of this moment, the only ones I trust are Saren and you.
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't realize I was included. It's an honor. Given your relationship with Sarn, I could trust you for now. I'd make for an excellent ally. There's no great reason why I'm here. I got a big job in the last tavern. I don't suppose you'd be willing to share next time? Only if you accept a 90-10 split for the fee. Do I get the 90? Elegant cleared her throat and continued. Are you familiar with the Cathedral St. Isaac? What's that? A cathedral run under the Rim Diocese, currently under construction in the capital. 12 years ago, there was a disaster when one of the central pillars collapsed. The noble brothers who were supervising the construction site, the elder is called Brando, and the younger man is Jonathan, were buried under the rubble. According to the reports of one of the juror clergy to the local abbot, the collapse was caused by the brothers, who had lined their pockets by using substandard materials and cheating the workers. Well, I guess they deserved it then, huh? So the story proved to be a perfect tool to persuade others to donate. After all, everyone fears the punishment of God. Yep. People are willing to give up anything, so long as they can avoid the flames of hell. Honestly, that's true. That is sadly true. So I'm guessing you were hired to investigate further. Yes, now that I've settled in, I plan to insinuate myself into the cathedral. Client didn't tell you come to White Star, did they? Of course. Travelers and mercenaries tend to stop at taverns such as these as they travel. You know as well as I that Tavern Rumor Mill is awash with contacts and ways to exchange information. But why spend so much money investing in a closed case about something involving the church? That is neither my problem nor my concern. Take the job, perform the job, take the payment. Anything else is immaterial. I do not concern myself with the secrets of my clients may have. Elegant turned and opened the door. It seemed she was counting my questions as immaterial as well. Elegant turned and looked back to me, waiting silently. Well, I'm sorry to bother you. I left quickly and sensibly. The door shut behind me with a click. Okay then. Better return to my room and do something else. Search. What do you want to do? Take a nap, I guess? No, taking a nap is better. I'm too lazy to take off my boots. I'll just lay here for a while. Yep. I mean, I always take my, I always take my shoes off. That's just gross, but okay. I understand the tiredness, though. The rain had stopped. The packed dirt, now dispersed from the narrow alleys by the rain, remained on the center of the road after the rainwater flew away. No one pays attention to their feet during the chase. Gray muck splattered and burst on the narrow alley walls that even one person could barely squeeze through, then slowly slid to the ground. The spatial structure of this place was impossibly complex. Unable to build outwards thanks to poverty, the locals instead took a more vertical approach. They built Babylonesque towers into the sky, exploiting the potential of every inch of their narrow settlements. Everything was delicately balanced. Shelter supports bending incongruously to hold up walls that were ready to collapse, which in turn bolstered cracked ceilings, held up the hulking canopy of homes above. A resident screamed as I raced by. A rusty watering pot jolted free from her hand and dousing her patchwork dress. I feel like I was blind as I mounted the stairs 3 at a time, my breathing heavy as I chased after the sound of running. I ran my way through the wooden door and the smell of mildew burst into my nose. Dim and soft light spilled through the cloudy sky, but that was enough to blind me after spending so much time in the dark staircase. The roof I had entered was completely different. Furniture was scattered randomly like debris after a storm, the wood cracked and the varnish peeling from exposure to the elements. Dozens of pieces in different styles and ages, like museum display furniture throughout the ages. My quarry and I fought. I grabbed him, but he pushed me away. The roof opened up and swallowed me. The time of my fall felt like forever. That was an intense dream. I think the nightmares are getting more frequent. I feel like we should remember that. I need one more drink.
There you are.
I descended into the cellar step by step with an empty mug. After I filled my mug, I contemplated my next course of action. I raised the board that separated the counter and the hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Soren was cleaning the dishes.
What's the matter, Roman?
One more drink.
You haven't gotten drunk in a long time. Don't blame me if you wake up hungover.
Don't worry. I descended into the cellar with my empty mug. Wow, only 2-3 drinks gets us fucked up, huh? After drinking 3 cups, I think one more drink is available. I raised the board that separated the counter and the hall, squeezed through the narrow passage. Sarzen was cleaning the dishes. Let's continue this chat in the lobby. Oh! It's nearly lunchtime. Go to have lunch or chat some more. Think I'm gonna have lunch. Smells like vegetable stew.
I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that Kane decided to burst into my kitchen and quote, show you idiots what an actual vegetable stew is like. Lucky for you guys, he cooked the stew before I managed to herd him out into the street. Bad news is today's lunch is vegetable stew.
That's fine, I've given up anyway.
Anyway, bon appetit.
I stirred the stew with my spoon and the thick soup swirled slowly in the bowl. Enos was holding the bowl to his face and dumping the liquid into his open maw. That really can't be a healthy way to eat anything. Kane ate his masterpiece contently without any hesitation while glancing at me secretly from time to time. I lowered my head immediately and had a few bites. It's nice to relax a bit by the fire in the afternoon. The snow was falling again outside, so Soren needed to sweep the snowflakes which were blown from the doorway. Soft snow heaped on the street and muffled all sound, like when you block up your ears with soft cotton. Everything bad or unpleasant, from outside disputes to bad ideas, is muffled by the snow. The slightly sweet scent of fresh air, chilled by the winter cold, lingers in the nose. The wind, heavy with floating snow, trapped by the wood door, enough that a band of sunlight could shine through the gap and across the wall. Suddenly the door swung open. Oh, look how tiny and cute! Ah, it's so cold! Can I get something to warm me up? A fluffy white-furred dragon staggered in, dragging a suitcase that was almost as big as he was, leaning on a cane.
What is a child doing out in the snow like this? Well, hurry up, boy, come and have a rest.
Don't call me a boy! Would a child be carrying this? He produced a medical license from his pocket and brandished it up at Soren like a dagger. Soren frowned as he read it. Oh my god, this guy is just really, really short.
Oh, my apologies, Master Doctor. Please forgive my rudeness.
The last thing I need is to freeze to death before I get back to my clinic.
I'll just be waiting for the snow to calm down. Of course, please warm yourself by the fire. I'll carry your things.
Soren tried to lift the suitcase, then let out a labored groan as he shifted it.
What in God's name? So heavy.
The dragon took off his thick, heavy coat, climbed into the chair opposite of me, and reclined with a sigh of full contentment. Greetings, I am 3V, a physician by trade. He rose slightly and stretched out his right hand. I returned the handshake. Roman, it's a pleasure. Maybe I'll be your patient in the future. His lips convulsed slightly. I hope that day never comes. His hands were covered in soft white fur. From the palms to the back of his hands, the stray snowflakes which he brought from the outside were melting on his fur. He looked like he'd fit in with some of Soren's paintings. Not in where in the blazes am I? I've never passed by here. The only reason I managed to spot this place was a lamp outside. This is the White Star Tavern. The White Dragon looked at me with confusion. The Vela District. The Vela District, my word, I hadn't expected to get quite so lost. He shrugged his shoulders and looked around. Just then, the doors shook violently and gave the blizzard access to the inside of the room. The falling snowflakes flew up and down with the invading storm. At the same time, someone cursed loudly in the cellar. Mind your language, there's a Oh! Well, fuck off, I am not a child. I like you, 3V! The gale howled outside. If someone were to go out now, he'd be mad or suicidal. Normally, shutting the door was an easy task, but became much harder than usual in this situation. Snow from the crack whirled across my nose and eyes. I shut the door with all my strength, then found a chair to block it up. Whew! I moved to sit back down. The door hinges creaked loudly as someone rattled the knob. What the? Oh, it's a hyena! Oh, hell. There's a hyena lying there, wrapped tightly in a thin, hooded robe. This is a tavern, please. I humbly ask for shelter and warm hearth. May I stay? He crawled to his feet in embarrassment. I shrugged as an answer and pointed to the cellar. Just another crash echoed from within. I'm not the boss, so I can't call the shots. Perhaps the owner will show kindness and not hurt me into the street. He took off his robe on the back of a chair, then kicked back and leaned heavily. The partially suspended chair groaned under the pressure.
Sorry to keep you waiting, eh? Going so soon, Doctor.
Soren stood in the doorway to the cellar with mugs of ale in his hands as Thrivey was getting up from the chair. I'm not feeling well and want a place to rest. Do you have any available rooms? How strange. Thrivey looked fine just seconds ago. Now he looked pale and weak.
Let me think. I haven't cleaned the other rooms yet. Otherwise, I can offer you the space I have in the attic.
Thriven walked to the stairs quickly, politely refusing the cup Taran offered. Hey, go, but I am a little queasy at the moment. My stomach is a bit too delicate for alcohol. Well, no need to waste such fine ale. Soren stared in surprise as the hyena plucked the mug from his hand without hesitation and intended to drink. Why are hyenas always shown as the assholes? Okay, just because I do this all the time and I'm so annoying and I take everything without asking and I just obnoxiously show up places without being fun. You know, I'm not making a good case for myself, am I? And intended to drink.
Hold on! You're a friar, aren't you?
Perhaps he's also a pretender like Elegant. Don't bother with such rigid rules. 'Tis far nobler not to waste gifts granted by God.
Well, how should I address you?
Soren crossed out a whole line on the bill with his pencil, then added a few words. It seems like you don't go to church on weekends, or you'd know my name.
I would call, but seeing as I'm the only one working this tavern, I don't have much chance, excuse me.
With a slight frown, Soren turned back and quickly retreated to the kitchen. I suppose he would stay there for a long time. I just remembered, I have something important to do. Goodbye. But this is more important than rescuing your sword, my child. Damn it! Damn it, not again! I'm so tired of these conversations! Okay, I'm happy with the god I have. And besides, you're getting drunk and you're telling me? Oh, hell no! The moment I touched the stair railing, the hyena had pinned my hand with a smile. The blink of the something cross which hung on his chest was dazzling. Well, so much for escaping. What is your name? I believe I've never seen your face before in my church. I'm not in the parish. That doesn't matter, even though we are from different parishes. All of us are in the same family. I'm Father Herring. Nice to meet you. Okay. I reached out 3 fingers and gingerly shook his hand. I'm Roman, nice to... He interrupted me before I could get a word in edgewise and began to make a speech without any pause, gesturing towards me excitedly. Damn me, child, do you know where you will go after death? I'm sure you never think about that. I think about that all the time, called depression, but I don't give a fuck. That's the difference. How to settle your audience to sleep. Step 1, ask a question and answer it yourself. He let go of my hand and I quickly climbed the stairs. Thrivey was standing in the corridor and staring blankly up at the ceiling. Oh, bro, are you okay? Try to help. How do I bring the lotter down? Here, leave it to me. I went ahead and untied the knot step by step. The white dragon watched quietly as I untied the string from the wooden handle beside me. Okay, I got it. Next step is just... Ah! Almost at the same time when I let go, the ladder fell with a loud slam. The white dragon's scream, accompanied with the twang of the pulley, caused me to jump back. The ladder dropped down so fast that the force of the wind stirred my hair. The ladder slammed into the place where I stood just then, splintering the wooden board of the floor. Dangerous, are you alright? Don't worry, I'm fine. Not scared at all. Go on up, please. I fled like a scared mouse, moving into my own room quickly. The nightstand was half open. Was somebody in here? I moved quickly, pulling open the drawer and began searching. My wallet was still there, as were my magnifying glasses and their fleece bag. The evidence from the crime scene. I rummaged through the sundries I had stored in there, my hand dipping down into the drawer. Finally, my fingers touched a cold and hard object buried deep among the linens. There it is. I tucked the case back down deep underneath my things and stuffed everything back into the drawer. I quietly cursed my lack of a lock. The cheap bastard Zarin must have thought nobody would bother rob his guest. Imagine that. Nothing was lost, but I know I didn't leave the drawer open. Think, who had access to my room after lunch? Only 2 can be excluded. Who didn't have the chance to enter my room after lunch? Sarin and Heron. Because Sarin was downstairs, so it has to be Sarin, but Thrivey was just there, so it has to be Sarin and Heron, right? Sarin managed everything all the time from downstairs, so he didn't have to go upstairs till now, excluded. Heron. He chattered without a stop in front of me since he got here. He may have made a bad impression, but it wasn't him. As for everyone else, I'll need to investigate. I locked the door and went downstairs. Oh hey, more people.
Well, what else would you like to order?
There's enough. Thank you for the warm hospitality, good sir. A lynx, oh that's cool, who just came in, swept off his thick coat and casually dropped it into Heron's arms as he walked past. What are you doing? Child, I am not a coat rack. Sarin took the coat from Heron's hands and quickly hung it from the progressively more overburdened coat rack. Heron left out an offended huff, then walked to the fireplace and sat down, the fur on his back raised and hackled. The lynx walked toward me as he adjusted his color, meeting me at the bottom of the stairs. Hey there, just call me Vincent. He reached into the pocket of his fancy puffy-sleeved topcoat and produced something with a flourish. It was a scroll about the size of a finger with smoothly edged paper wrapped around a varnished wooden core. Vincent Link, spices and herbs. Okay. That explains a few things. This guy smelled like money. Rob him! Rob him! I'm Roman, the detective that... Splendid, Mr. Robin. Might I take your contact details later? I may have some need for a detective in the future. Well, if you want to. I tucked the scroll into my pocket and wiped the sweat off my hand of the suit. I could provide you with my address once you're settled in. I stepped out of the way so Vincent could trot upstairs. Soren followed him with his luggage. People nowadays, Heron was muttering to himself as he turned to me. I believe you said something about thorns on the road of salvation earlier, Father. Yeah. Heron's words stuck in his throat at the sight of Soren coming downstairs.
I'll prepare for dinner. Feel free to chat.
Soren lifted the curtain and went to the kitchen, leaving me and Heron in the room together alone. I quickly moved, reaching for the easiest excuse to get away from the hyena before he pounced. I'm going to leave an address for him. We can talk later. I rushed to the stairs before he could eject. Vincent stood at the door to his room. I don't suppose it's coincidence that your room is right next to mine, Mr. Vistel. I thought you'd be staying in a suite at the end of the corridor. The rooms are all the same, my good wolf. It's not as though I have much in the way of luggage. He stepped over to the doorway and leaned on it, motioning over to me with a mild smile. There you are, just right here. I accepted the sharpened quill and jotted down the address of my office on the paper he gave me. Though I called it my office, it was just the parlor of the flat I rented. If a client came without a reservation, they'd be shocked by the casual atmosphere there. I didn't always have the time and energy to sweep or clean up after myself. It had cost me more than one client's business. He tucked the paper into his pocket where he put the scroll, then gave me a finger wave goodbye. Funny, I expected something more, like the scent of exotic spices or fancy cologne at least. Or maybe that was just me expecting something more ostentatious. It's snowing heavy out there. Kane tightened the lock and dusted off his hands. You're blooded lucky it's a holiday, so I don't need to be hurried going back. Why not stay here until the snow's lighter? Just think of it as being on the case with me. Bugger off, it says anybody would accompany you. I told you not to come in when I have my door locked at night. No need to be rude. You wanted to talk. You forgot to buy me a drink after that case I helped you with. Alright, okay, I'll treat you soon. What's your poison? Ale, wine? Of course it's ale.
Who's gonna treat someone to ale?
Ines emerged from the door at the end of the corridor. Are you up to your gill in quantity? How come you can pay for a corner suite?
You only pay if you stay the night.
That explains it. We walked downstairs one by one. Oh no.
I told you not to come in the kitchen, I'm busy.
Soren was leaning out of the kitchen with a stern glare. But my child, is it a redemption of the soul more?
Last I checked, you can't feed customers with redemption. Now stay out.
I'm pretty sure you can't just command piety. I took the seat beside Heron and he scooted over to give me some room. Maybe you should just take it easy for the night? I haven't done my endeavor if I haven't converted everyone. Everyone here is a pious believer. If that were true, you'd be in the pews at Sunday service. I would just as soon as criminals stop committing crimes on Sunday. Crime is merely a symptom of moral wickedness if more people prayed. Last I checked, Father Heron, praying doesn't solve everything. Indeed, for worldly matters, we must rely on the benefits of worldly assistance. Unnoticed, Elegant had already come downstairs and claimed a seat across the table from Heron. Even the most righteous may fall into equity and ruin if they casually mingle with those steeped in sin. All Jesus hung out with was whores, leopards, and drunks. What the fuck are you talking about? Then perhaps you should worry more about your own righteousness. Thank you, Elegance. Why am I'm on the cat side, not the hyena side. This is bullshit. After all, you only risk further degeneration if you casually mingle with us sinners. You.
Want some supper to go along with your moral philosophy?
Soren slapped 2 bowls of carrot stew in front of me and Heron. The soup sloshed from the bowl and landed on the table.
Bon appetit.
When he served the stew to Vincel, it was refused by a hasty wave of a hand, so he served the stew to Elegant. Perhaps I've been a bit prickly. You're not the only one. Bon appetit. Do you really have to imitate him? It began to grow dark. Snow piled on the windowsill and in front of the door, and the pavement had all but vanished. An ox strummed in snatches of melody in his corner, just like every bard stuck in the inn by heavy snow. Oh, hey, why is everybody panicking? Looks like we gotta stay overnight.
Do I got time to change into a smaller room so I can save money for the ale?
Maybe go without ale for the night?
Do you know 2 places without ale? Jail and hell! Ha!
Fair!
That's why I come to the tavern. It's the furthest place from both.
Ennis took a seat at the bar and moved to scratch the countertop.
That change is okay. In this kind of weather, every guest counts.
Soren slid a mug to Aeneas across the counter.
Drink up, but scratch my bar and I'll take it out of your hide.
Not.
Hello?
A muffled voice came from behind the door. What? Hello? Is anyone in there? The continual knocks came through the snow-buried door, attracting everyone's attention. The snow piled up as high as my hips. Who would be knocking at this time of night? Everyone kept silent. Ennis moved in front of the candle to hide it. Please, our carriage stuck in the snow.
How many of you are there?
Soren opened the partition and squeezed himself out behind the counter. He kept his left hand concealed in his coat. Oh, that's obviously a... 3, please, we have money. We just want somewhere we could pass the night.
I can see only one.
Soren grimaced, then cracked the door open to peek out. My master and mistress are still in the carriage.
Come in then.
Soren pushed the door open wider, allowing a thin figure to stagger inside with a gust of snow. Oh, wow. Thank God. The wheels were stuck in the snow, and our horses panicked and broke their legs. Damn. If we hadn't seen the light of the tavern, I don't know what we would have done.
Thank me later. I'll go rescue the other 2. I'll give you a hand.
Soren and Aeneas took their coats and went out the door. Through Aeneas' coat didn't seem to fit him well. Phew, is there any way I can warm myself? The goat patted the snow off his coat and shuffled over to the fireplace. I'm surprised you made it this far by the way you're shivering. It's too cold for being near the capital. Ridiculous. By the way, my name is Shawn. I'm Roman. Nice to meet you. I didn't feel comfortable shaking the hands of someone trembling so hard. Luckily, he seemed more focused on warming his hands by the fire. The door swung open heavily as Sarin guided two people wrapped in thick cloaks inside. He left them by the fireplace to pour ale for them. Oh wow, I can smell money off of them.
Here you are, drink to warm yourselves.
And Anais carried the luggage in and returned his overly tight coat back to the coat rack. Which I then noticed was actually my coat, jerk! Ah! Dick!
I'll admit I thought my place would meet your usual standard.
Any port in a storm, as they say, merci beaucoup.
Just take it easy. I will try to accommodate you as best as I can. May I know your names, please?
Lunik. Marquise Lunik Harlock. This is my wife, Solar. The gray furred wolf emerged from underneath the cloak. Snow clung to his messy but glossy fur, and his amber-orange eyes landed on me. I wonder if you remember. Oh, certainly. You're one of the detectives who resolved that crucial case for us, monsieur. Roman. Oh yes, Roman, pardon. It has slipped out of my memory. Turned back to take his wife's cloak before handing both to his servant, Goat. Shawn caught the two cloaks and stood aside like a living coke rat. Aww! I guess nobles have short memories.
Your room is ready. It's not exactly a suite in the capital, but it's clean and tidy. No need to mention they must be
Staying in the double suite at the end of the corridor. Thank you, I simply must get out of these shoes. Shawn, I think the glue of my heel came loose from the snowmelt. Sarzan walked ahead with a suitcase in each hand and a candle held by his tail. The Marquis and the Marquise followed him up. Kane watched them go upstairs from his seat at the counter, fiddling with his pendant. Seems Kane's pendant never had been apart from him, though the color and the scratches on it meant it wouldn't be worth much. Sarin came back downstairs.
Is there anyone here who doesn't have a room?
Like me?
Oh, forgive me, father. We have a nice big room left over for the Marquin's servant.
Haran's pout was so intense it was almost audible.
As I'm sure you know, the warriors of God must keep away from worldly pleasure which weakens them. That includes staying overnight in the inn's big suite.
I suppose that is the case.
So I think it's alright.
Vincel and Thrivey came downstairs one after another. Thrivey walked straight into the corner and took a seat beside Kane and Aeus and started reading a book like he was in his own real world. Before I could notice it, Kane had plucked the pendant off his neck and strode upstairs. The pendant swung about, the string of it twined between his index finger and thumb. He said it's gotten much more lively, hasn't it?
We don't usually have a packed house this late. Anyone care for a game?
Sarin took a length of blue flannel from under the counter and spread it on the table.
If you have any objections to gambling, you can go upstairs and play by yourselves.
Shawn stood there at the table, looking longingly at the flannel before clearing his throat. I must attend to my master and mistress. Good evening. Are you just going to gawk? Are you going to join us? Oh yes, I'm coming. I sat by the makeshift cards table. Sarin pulled 4 cards and put them in a line.
Let's have a simple game to warm up. What about guessing the suits?
No problem.
I picked out 4 cards with different suits. Ningel, Blade, Chalice, Garin. Understand?
Got it. Now let's start.
Alright. First, guess which one is the lining? 1 in 4.
Just guessing this one. I picked the second card, it was not the Langan.
Seems you're wrong. Now let's guess which ones is the bleed.
I'm not good at guessing games. I like logic. Damn it! Why do I keep picking the chalice? I picked the third card, it was not the blade.
Seems you're wrong.
After 2 rounds, my petty cash had run dry. Heron concentrated his attention on watching gambling. Even I couldn't tell if he was watching critically or just to enjoy. Let me refill my wallet, then time for a showdown. Clean to lick your wounds, detective. Gloat all you like, Inox. I'll be back to clean you out. Oh! Poor luck. Elegant was at the stairs. She raised her veil and smirked at me. What do you want? If it's not important, I've got a card game waiting for me. It is an important matter. She stepped back to the wall and backed away to the door of her room and opened the door. Is the mysterious act necessary? Very necessary. She shut the door behind me. Doing well? Are you still wearing a bell? What? Never mind, it'll work. Before she could speak a whole sentence. What? Bang. What? With a crunching sound? Bang. What? Bang. The third one echoed in the tavern with a hoarse roar. What on earth? Was there a shooting? Don't worry, I guess it's just Kane losing his temper. He'll calm down soon, then he'll go cry and blame himself all night. Anyway, you were saying something? Really? I doubt it would be that simple. We should check to make sure. Whatever you had to say seemed pretty important. Don't let me die of curiosity, please. Well, in a word. What? A deep sound. The sound was different from the last. It sounded like something heavy slammed into the ground. Something probably weighed much as a person. What happened? I slammed the door open, bouncing off the wall as Elegant followed me out. The sound came from the opposite side of the hall, Kane's room. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. I thumped, pushed, kicked with all my strength, but the door wouldn't budge. Shawn ran from the double room in a hurry. Shawn ran from the double room in a hurry, a handkerchief in one hand. What happened? I think something happened to Kane in his room, but the door is locked and we can't get in.
Locked.
Oh, the doors don't have locks. Sarn rushed from the stairs when he heard that, trying to push through the rest of the crowded guests to fetch his keys. We can't wait! Shawn backed up, bent his head down, and rushed the door with his horns. My man! My vision went black. The air was still. The sound of choppy breaths and sobs gradually filled my ears. A scream sliced through the still air and echoed in my ears. What? How bad is this body? How graphic is it? Holy mother of God! Oh, that is so graphic. Okay. My vision slowly cleared. Soon I could identify the shape of the scene before me. A wooden cup and a copper candlestick were resting on the ground. Red, dull liquid, like vicious wine, trickled down from the back of the chair and pooled on the ground. The air was thick with a coppery, metallic smell. Kane was slumped in the chair like he was asleep. If you ignored the knife which was thrust in his chest. A pattern of reddish gold bloom along the lines of the knife handle, and splatters of red spread out across his body. Kane's body shuddered involuntarily as the last traces of life fled his corpse. Nobody moved. It was like the world had slowed to a crawl, just witnessing a terrible accident that you couldn't do anything to stop. I thought that by now I'd seen enough death and carnage to not be shaken by one more grisly murder scene, until I found myself staring at Kane's slowly stiffening corpse. The familiar odor of Kane's musk mixed with the metal smell of blood and the reek of death and caught in my throat. Aww.
Someone do something!
Siren tried to burst into the room, but was stopped by Anox and Shawns clinging to the sides.
Why in my tavern of all places? Who did this? Which one of you did it?
Roared as he shook Anox and Shawns off, his lips pulled back to show his fangs and shoulders hunched. His wings began to spread angrily, struggling to free themselves from the straps he held them with. The friendly innkeeper persona dropped away. In its place was an enraged dragon out of some bard's tale, furious that someone had dared defile his lair. He leveled his glare at me. Uh-oh. Get a hold of yourself! I'm crushed that Kane is dead, and I don't know who did it!
Then find out!
Let's find the murderer. I'll do everything I can.
Thank you, it's very important to me.
Siren slowly recovered his composure, his fangs hidden back under his lips, and his posture relaxed.
I expect all guests will cooperate with Roman's investigation in order to resolve this as soon as possible.
He tossed me the ring of keys, turned around, and slowly walked downstairs, his footsteps heavy on the stairs. I remember there was also another set of keys in the attic. I should have a look later. Well then, time to get to work. In the next episode. Oh my god, I liked Kane! He seemed fun, but had anger issues, so I guess... I wish that Hyena got it, which sucks because I'm like, Hyena against Hyena, this is bullshit. Anyway. We'll be starting our investigation in the next episode. Since Kane is dead and we have kind of a biblical theme going on, anybody who's named Abel is my first suspect. Anyway, if you like what you see, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can see my content in the future. Also, while you're here, if you have any game suggestions or you just want to say hi, leave it down in the comment section below. I'm Hyena, and I'll catch you all in the next video.